It's the weekend, baby, and it's time for another weekend reset because this house is a hot mess. I came straight home from working overnight in behavioral health, my little part-time gig, and immediately went to work on this house so that when I was done, I could actually rest. I told y'all, my living room is my favorite place in the house because this where I be. And here's the behind the scenes that proves that I spend way too much time down here. Got all my pillows and blankets on the couch. And this is non-aesthetic mom life, so I ain't hiding nothing. Gotta get some laundry done and wash these blankets and pillows and prep for dinner because this Sunday night we're having beef stroganoff, homemade of course. Got to get one of these candles lit to set the atmosphere and get it popping in here. So y'all know I had to clean my desk, my favorite spot in the house. And this week, we don't really have a cameo of my sunshine doing his chores. But we do have another special guest, and he was none too happy about being on camera. Y'all should have heard him fussing. But that's all right, because I did some fussing on my own. This house wasn't nearly this messy when I left at 10 p.m. the night before to go to work. Now y'all know them ginger ales. Yeah, they was all me. So are all them clothes in the middle of the floor, but I digress. Unlike the rest of these jokers, I cleaned up after myself, though, and that's what's really important. Cooking is my love language, not cleaning. And there he go, that lady's son that I married, them kids' daddy, fussing at me for recording him. And while my sunshine is responsible for cleaning the table, I gotta get it organized. I had to organize this mail, most of which belongs to my adult children who do not live at my house. Am I the only one having that experience? Then they be mad when you open their mail. Change your address then, and your parents won't be in your business. So, of course, I had to take a picture of that grocery list because there were quite a few things that we were out of. And I did somebody else's chore and took the trash out and fussed the entire time. I do not do trash, but I did clean the trash can, which the person responsible for taking the trash out never does. Hint, hint. Whenever the dog food bin is empty and we need to refill it, I go ahead and clean it. I wipe it down as good as possible and make sure I clean the lid and all that good stuff. And I was throwing away those mats because we got some new ones that came in. And I was doing a little jig because I was listening to church while I was cleaning. And now it's time for a coffee break and to order those groceries. Baby, I was running on fumes. So I absolutely needed that little break, that sit down. So I went through and found the recipes that we would use for the week and identified the items that we needed to purchase. And since we've been eating so much at home, our meat in the freezer has gotten pretty low. Now, I hate having to buy individual packs of meat from the regular grocery store, but our Costco week is the third week of the month when we don't have as many bills. So we'll just have to make do, either with what we already have or getting those individual packs of meat. I got that water going in the sink because there were quite a few dishes and I like for them to soak at least for a little while before I start washing them. And while they did that, I went ahead and cleaned the counters, the stove, the microwave, the tea kettle that's always on the stove because of course things splash on it and it has food stuck on it. So you got to make sure you get that clean. And the microwave plate and the food cover needed a good cleaning too. And after cleaning, I always go back and disinfect with those Lysol scrubbing wipes. At some point, I remembered that I needed to wash my hair, so I went ahead and changed and pre-pooed, and then I came back and finished my deep cleaning. So all those dishes got washed, including that dog food bin lid. At some point in there, the dog food arrived, we refilled the dog food bin, and then we started putting those groceries away. So y'all already know, I sort them and lay them all out on the counter and stove next to the refrigerator before I actually start putting them away. On this week's menu is the beef stroganoff that I talked about earlier. A roasted whole chicken, jerk style, with crock pot, white beans and rice and green beans. New York street cart chicken, some Hungarian chicken, and then on Saturday night we're having our Passover dinner, which will of course include lamb and matzo ball soup. We didn't have any leftovers this week that needed to be thrown out. We had one homemade chicken pot pie, and we gave that to our next door neighbor. He's a widower, and he is mean as all get out. But you know what? God still loves him, and so do we. Now, my baby girl has been having a hard time making sure that she has her breakfast and her lunch each day, especially on those days when she works. So one of the things that I've started doing is putting the things that she puts on the grocery list inside her freezer, the one in the garage that she actually has for her culinary business. She's going to start taking more orders soon, and we won't be able to continue doing that. But this is a great way to ensure that the things that she prefers doesn't get eaten up before she gets to use it. She's on the spectrum, and people who are neurodivergent often have issues with textures and tastes and being able to eat when they don't really have an appetite, and having a taste for something and not being able to eat something else instead, and the list of things goes on. So we accommodate the needs that she has. And with that pantry stocked, it's now time to sweep and mop. And so I am using my Bissell Crosswave Pro to do just that. It's actually doing vacuuming and mopping at the same time. And the great thing is I can actually clean the rugs with it. It works on all surfaces, so it's deep cleaning the laminate, hardwood, and even carpet or rugs. So now it's time to clean this area off to the side of my kitchen where the dogs pretty much live. Now, the only reason why I feel perfectly comfortable with having the dogs in this area of my kitchen is because every morning when I let them out, I sweep this particular area to get the dust and dirt and dog hair. And I have never once had an issue with finding dog hair on my person or on my food or my dishes. Because North Carolina has a lot of that red dirt. When the dogs are in their crates, they get that red dirt on my wall. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that too. Y'all know when I get to cleaning, I get crazy. I use my Bissell on their area, but I also use my Swiffer mop with the scrubbing pad attached to make sure that I get in there really, really good. And I went outside to shake off my dog's mat and got dog hair in my eye, on my glasses. Lord help us all. So I go out and I shake the little tray that goes in the bottom of each crate, and then I use the Swiffer to clean the mats because it would be almost impossible to use the Bissell in this little space. I put everything back and I put each dog back, and then I finish the kitchen using just the Bissell Crosswave. I find doing this method easier because there's less dog hair in the actual bin that I have to clean out or empty when it's time to clean the Bissell Crosswave. It cleans itself, but you still have to clean that container that collects the water and the dirt. So I finished doing my kitchen, and then I had my sunshine come and open up the box with the new mats in it. With me spending so much time in the kitchen these days, I needed some anti-fatigue mats for the sink and the stove. That lady's son that I married is still indulging my overwhelming desire to reorganize and make home improvements, so he got us some mats. And here's that Bissell Crosswave doing its thing. I love it. Simply pop that top off, take that roller out, wipe it down, pour a little bit of that solution in the bottom, and then run it a second time. And look at how dirty that water is. Oh my God. I mopped that powder room too, but I did that off camera. So it's all done. Look at here, look at here. Only thing left is to cook dinner, wash my hair, and take my class. We're ready for the week.